All right. Awesome. Hope everybody's had an awesome Monday so far. Thank you so much for jumping on. Just a few quick announcements. There's really not any that you're not unaware about, except what they mentioned on the National Wake Up Call today, which is awesome. So anybody who signs up a customer or coach this month, then they're going to be able to access the work for just $10. So they're going to get exclusive promo link in their email for anyone that signs up with a challenge pack coach or customer this month, which is awesome because otherwise it's like 50 or 60 bucks. So I think that'll be great, especially for new people just signing up. Otherwise, know that this is the last month for the promo codes. So take advantage of those if you have them from last month. And I think that's it. But check your breaking news because Monday after the National Wake Up Call is when they release all those new announcements. So be sure to take some time to check that out. Hope y'all got to listen to the National Wake Up Call today. She's so cute and so spunky. So I loved it so much. So tonight I really want to talk about something that I think is so beneficial to so many coaches, because when I can tell you probably 80, if not percent more people that are coaches work full-time jobs. So even me when I started, so heck, it might even be higher than 80%. I don't know. I don't know the accurate statistics on that, but it's an overwhelming amount of people that are full-time employed outside of Beachbody. So I just wanted to run through this and what this looks like and what this means for our business and how we're able to successfully do both and not feel so overwhelmed, which is so easy to do. We have to remind ourselves that that is a choice, and I know it's a hard choice, especially as women, and constantly going and doing and giving for everyone around us. It's just so easy to burn that candle at both ends and just be burnt out and anxious and stressed and even depressed to an extent. So I just wanted to talk about some takeaways tonight and some tips just to help you as we're moving forward. So, okay, for number one, your full-time career has to be your fuel, not your excuse. And what I mean by this is it's so easy to be like, when I was working as a nurse full-time, 12 to even 16-hour shifts sometimes, 12 if I got off on time. I was exhausted getting home at 8 o'clock at night, which is now my bedtime. But then I was like, the last thing I want to do is talk to people. I'm tired. But using that as my excuse to where, oh, I've already worked all day, I'll just do it later, and I just kept putting it off. But yet I knew that I had to get it done if I was serious about eventually making this my full-time career. And I know so many people on our team have that desire and that big goal to eventually be a full-time business builder with this business. But it does. It takes time and it takes a lot of things that I'm about to walk us through tonight. But just remembering that you have to stay focused in your job at that time, and not completely neglect that while focusing on your business. And it's a balance. It is, which is hard to find. But your full-time career has to be your fuel, not your excuse. So two, this is a very difficult one for a lot of people. Some people, not so much. They are blessed with this. But you have to make sure that your loved ones understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Do they know your goals? Because Jordan and I, we actually butted heads a few times. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now this month. So, and I was always just working all the time in the beginning. I didn't have those set business hours, and I was just working, and it did, and it cut into that family time, and he was frustrated because in the beginning, you're not going to see a substantial, ROI, a big income, and you're taking all this time, and they don't yet see it. So we have to have that heart-to-heart with them to let them know what it is we're fighting for. Or else, if we're just working all the time and they don't understand our vision and the big picture and they're just seeing the here and now, then they're going to hate this opportunity and they're not going to support it. And then they're going to, it's just going to cause friction in your marriage or in your relationship. And eventually you're probably going to end up quitting because they hate it. They're not supporting you and y'all haven't found that middle ground. So that's a hard conversation that has to be had. Like I said, some people have that support and love right from the beginning, but many do not. I did not, and I know several coaches on the team do not. But now that we did have that conversation, and Jordan is a very big picture thinker, so like he is my number one supporter now in this business. So making sure that your loved ones and your kids too, I think is so special. I've seen so many before, which we obviously don't have ours yet, but like they, like by incorporating their kids into it, they shared with them that, okay, mommy's got to do this. It's going to take some time, but like shared with them, if we reach this big goal, they made them a part of that goal setting. And they're like, we're going to Disney or something like that. And how awful would it be to have to tell your kids, oh, well, I didn't earn enough, or I didn't, but they're pushing you. They're excited for you because y'all have that big family goal that you're all working towards. So they know it's okay that mommy's sacrificing some time to work the business to better provide for her family in return. So I just thought it was so cute to hear that, and just think that one day, like that would give me like my stomach like in knots to be like, oh my God, that's so exciting. That would be like serious mojo to me, to fuel my fire, to know that I'm working hard to provide that for my kids and travel, because like I know me growing up, we never did that type of stuff. So that would be huge. Like what kid wouldn't want to know, like, oh my God, we're going to Disney? Or it doesn't have to be that extravagant, but make your kids a part of your goal setting along with your spouse, which goes into number 3, you guys. There's going to be sacrifices. So that's why they have to be on board with you. And this is where it gets hard, and this is the things that people don't want to hear and don't want to face up. And honestly, this is why so many coaches quit within their first 1 to 3 months as a coach. Why? Because that's when the rubber meets the road, and they realize it takes work, it takes grit, and it takes that sacrifice. And when they realize how hard it can be, it's really not that hard, but it does take time to build. We're not an overnight millionaire, and that's when people like quit, because they don't see that big vision and they're not finding that balance. So talking about sacrifices, these are like the top 3 that I had to do, and it's so hard, you guys. Number 1, first and foremost, is TV. Like if you have time to watch episodes of whatever it is that's your favorite show, and you're not focusing that time on your business, if you're not growing and hitting your goals, then that's a problem. Like for me, for so long in the beginning of my business, I knew that these are short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Like now, me and Jordan have all of our favorite shows because I work this business all during the day, and then I have that downtime with him at night. But for so long at night, when I'd worked my full-time job, and again, y'all know I'm like super grandma status here, so now I'm like 8, 9 o'clock. It's bedtime. But back then, I was working 7 to 7, getting home 8 on a good note because there was a little commute. Then I was staying up till midnight, turn around at getting up by 4 to get up for my workout before going into work the next day. So that leads into the next sacrifice, was sleep. And that's so hard as health and fitness coaches. Oh, we're talking about not sleep. Again, you guys, this is short-term sacrifices. I'm not telling you to go on 3 to 4 hours of sleep for the rest of your life. But I'm talking about right here, right now, while you have a commitment, you have other commitments to a full-time job, to your family, but you have to make this part of that. If you're not committing 1 to 2 hours a day, then that's why you're not seeing the growth that you truly desire, especially if you want to have that income for your family and make this eventually one day your full-time career, or just even enough to provide for your family. And then 3 is waking up early on the weekend. So this now I don't. That is my one day to sleep in, because I get up at 4:40 all during the week, and then that's when I sleep in, I'm like 6:30 is sleeping in to me. So it's still early for some. But like before your spouse gets up, before your kids get up, that has to be your hustle time. Because if not, they're gonna wake up, they're gonna want breakfast, they're gonna want this and that and that. And of course, as moms, I'm sure you're all the ones to like take care of all of that. So you have to structure yourself to where, even if it's 30 minutes to an hour, to where you can be so intentional and focused and own your morning. Because like I mentioned in my post today, and I share it all the time, there is nothing more empowering then owning your morning. Like for me today, like between 5, well, I do my workout 5 to 5:30, but then like 6 to 8 to 9, like that's where I get the bulk of my work done. Like after lunch, I don't do too much. I'm catching back up with conversations, but I've already blasted out all my invites and my follow-ups and my birthday messages and all those good things. So it really, even as a full-time coach, I'm not investing that much time. But as a part-time, you have to take advantage of those little nuggets and those power pockets that you have. And remembering, you don't have to have a whole hour, but if you have 10 or 15 minutes, if you have to run to the bathroom, even I know some moms don't even get peace when they're using the bathroom, but taking advantage of that time and like catching up on your messages as you're in the bathroom. So those sacrifices for short-term, sacrifices for long-term gain. TV, sleep, and waking up early. And it's not glamorous, you guys. And that's the thing. It's those things that's just as easy to do as it is not to do. So you're like, oh, I don't feel like getting up. Like today when my alarm went off at 4:30, like the people that get on our Zoom, most of them were not coming. I was like, oh, well, they're not going to be there. Well, I'm not going to be there either. And I was like, no, absolutely not. You're doing this for your family. You know what it is you're fighting for. You have to show up. And I do. Every time I do, and I've owned that morning, it's the best days that I have, like mentally and just most productive wise, because we can all be busy. But does that mean we're actually getting done and moving closer to our goals? So that was 3, is those sacrifices. And again, making sure that your family understands your vision and they support you so that they know the sacrifices that it's going to take in order to get you to those goals. But kind of wrapping it all together with number 4 is that if your goal is to work your coaching business full time, and you want to eventually leave the full-time career corporately that you have right now, you guys, you can't burn those bridges. You have to focus and you have to stay, like when you're at that job, unless you're like on your lunch break or if you get scheduled breaks, a lot of people don't, or if you run to the bathroom real quick to catch up on a message or two, that's fine. But ultimately you still have to give your best at that job, because it's when we like start sucking it up and they're going to ask us like, what's going on? Like, do you need to get your crap together? And you don't want to piss them off or like end up getting fired, because guess what? In this moment, you're not a full-time business builder, so your family relies on that income. You have to build up to that, so you do not want to burn any bridges. And what's awesome in correlation to that is like so many people that I know I've worked with at my full-time job as a nursing and stuff, like so many of those people have joined my team because, you know, I didn't burn those bridges. So you have to think of it in both ways, to just respect their time while you're on it, but also, you know, making the most outside of work too. And on those breaks, like if you get a break, a lunch break, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, use that to catch up on your business during the day. And again, scheduling out your posts. A lot of our time-consuming tasks that we have to do, like above all else, we know it's no shocker. Yes, it sucks, but like invites, if we're not inviting, our business is not growing. And we have to focus on that. And that's the thing that we cannot like substitute, and we can't schedule out an invite, so we have to do that real time. But thank God for voice notes, as it makes it more personal for one, and two, it saves us time. I know a lot of people are not comfortable with that, but you'll continue to get there with time, and you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this is saving my life right now. And on your commute, you can easily talk. Don't text and drive, but you can talk, or even jump on the phone call if you wish. But just making the most of your time and theirs. And again, you're not pissing your family off because you're earning an income in the meantime. Again, you guys, it gets harder before it gets easier. And again, this is why I think so many people quit in the beginning, because especially when your business is starting to grow, you're running challenge groups, you're doing more invites, you're working a full-time job, that's a lot. It's going to like make you a little more stressed and a little more overwhelmed. But you have to know when you're getting to that point, if it's getting really hard, you're actually getting that much closer to building your business and eventually making this your full time. But you have to know it and remind yourself, yes, it's going to be hard, and it's going to be a lot harder before it starts getting easier. And then when it gets easier and you do this full time, you're going to realize it's really hard to manage your time, because it's easy to get caught up in all the distractions. So, and 5, that goes into like, don't quit too early, which is hard to say because I want you to be able to do this full time, but I also don't want you stressed, you guys. And so many people, like, that's their number one is money, finances. They get stressed over finances. So I want to make sure that you're able to continue doing this and you're being smart with your finances too. And what you're earning with your business, if you can, while you're still like in the beginning stages of building your income, like put that money in a side account if you can. Like if you, I mean, you may rely on it and that's okay, or it may be your fun money, but like just be smart with it and put it on the side if you have that option. So that was kind of, 5 was don't quit too early, and 6 was being smart about your business, aka finances, what we just said. And then 7 is having those set of non-negotiables. There's going to be days, hopefully you have a plan, as she talked about today. I love what she said, is that you don't always have to be organized, but you always have to have a plan. And I love that, because while I strive to be organized, I'm not. If y'all saw my office right now, like I would be so embarrassed to show you, because there's like papers. I'm trying to get like all my tax stuff situated so it's not like super crazy come January, but it's a hot mess. But that's okay, because I have a plan, and that's what I lead with. So having that plan, and within that plan, you have to have those non-negotiables. And there's going to be some days that you're not going to have, but maybe that bare minimum of an hour a day, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes. But then hopefully on those weekends, if you're off on the weekends, you can do 2 to 3 hours, you know, whatever it takes. So planning, like, this is when I'm going to create my challenge group content and schedule posts and create my content calendar, whatever it is, work on my list, clean up my feed, have content graphics created so that I can then eventually share those when I'm rushed and don't have a lot of time, but I can just post and go while I'm on the fly. But there are those non-negotiables that you have to make room for, and that is being on these team calls. So thank y'all for being here, but it's so imperative, and I talk to people all the time, and they're in ruts, and it's because they're not showing up and they're not plugging in, so they're trying to do it all on their own, and we have to know we're in this together. And as I always say, like, we are stronger together. Like, even on the hard days, like I have hard days, and then when I see y'all pushing and y'all showing up and you growing and breaking through these goals that you didn't believe in, like that lights my fire more than anything. So just being here, showing up, listening to the National Wake Up Call. Hopefully you can do all these real time, but if not, especially with the National Wake Up Call being in during the day and you work a full-time job, that's okay. Catch the replay. They're all there. Attending events, your Super Saturday or Super Weekend now, sorry, and then having your summit ticket, making that a non-negotiable, getting that for next year and committing to that and figuring out the plans later. Being on Team Cups, we don't have them as much as we used to. We used to have them every quarter, now it seems like 2, maybe 3 times a max a year, but making sure you have nothing to lose, but by being a part of a team, you're just going to push yourself that much harder. And statistically, they always show your Success Club and your income that's the highest months out of any of the months of the year, because you're pushed and you know that your team is counting on you to show up, because nobody wants to be the weakest link. Hitting Success Club every month. Again, attending Summit, PD, running challenge groups. And I just strongly encourage you guys, like, if you're nervous to run your own groups, ask somebody on the team. Say, let's co-lead a group together. Or if you want to help me lead mine, whatever it is, but you have to show up every single day. And those are the things that don't have to take a lot of time, but you can easily get so lost within a challenge group if you don't like set a timer or a specific time of the day to check in and respond to those questions and being addressed within the group. And then 8 is having a plan with the dates while also being flexible. So in that, like, you have to know, like for me, as now many of you know, like our goal is to bring Jordan home. Now I'm home, but I want him home. I want our family home together. And it's like, it's scary to think about because we're nowhere close. We have to really increase our team and our income and our volume in order to do that. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like, that is my why power. That's what fuels me. And we have that goal date for in 2 years to have him home. If it's before then, freaking fantastic. It may take a little bit longer. That's okay. But by pushing for that set date, it's going to get me so much closer than if I didn't have a date at all. So I have to know exactly what it is I'm working towards so that I can then backtrack. And we have that strategic game plan to lay out the foundation. Like, what is it going to take? And that's why, like, this year I knew, like, with our big goals and even our elite goal as a team, like, that's going to come down to my recruitment numbers. Like, I hate to say it, but we know it is a numbers game to an extent. So like I knew I need to bring in 10 people a month, and I didn't do it in August, and that was hard for me, but that just pushes me to go that much harder this month. And again, by having that higher number, not settling for like month before, I was just like, oh, 5 new coaches a month, and I was getting like 2 or 3. Whereas if I up it and I'm getting 7 or 8, that's still much better than setting those limitations on myself. So just don't go at it blind. Know what it is your goal, your specific measurable goals are. Have that date, write it on your calendar, put a big star on it where you can see it. You're constantly reminded, like, and you can evaluate yourself. And also, it's even better to have an accountability partner in your family too. Like, okay, where are we at? Are we in alignment with our goals? And Jordan, I have to say it, he's like the best accountability partner ever because he's so tough love. And y'all know I'm tough love too, so I respond well to that. Not everybody does, but he's very tough on me. But it lights a fuel under my fire to make me work hard so that we can be home, and then him, you know, just help with the business side of things. So that was the 8 tips in regards to that, because it is. I see people all the time, you know, whether it's not showing up on the calls, or just not sharing their trackers every single week, or not even engaging, and not even simple as not even getting in their workouts because the day's got to run away from them, and now they're tired and stressed out. And again, that's why personally I believe in just owning the morning and getting it done, because like 3 o'clock hits in the afternoon, I'm like, no good. I'm like, second scoop of Energize, just get me through a couple more hours. But like, there was plenty of times I would get home and I knew, like, I can't even get out of my scrubs. I'm about to work out in my scrubs, or else like this workout is not getting done. But some people are like thrive at night. They're night owls. I think it's amazing, but not me. But just knowing what it is that you do best, but also not putting your workout time in your peak time, like your most creative time. Like that's my morning time from, 7 to 9. So I'm not going to, I already have my workout at 5 while I'm still trying to wake up, and then it gets my creative juices going a little bit, and then I can like hustle and focus on my content and reaching out and have that energy and that passion and that enthusiasm to reach out and invite and share what it is that I have to offer. And again, so then when you do this full time, or even now, talking about you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, so you have the opportunity to just lay low, sleep in on the weekends. You have to be so disciplined, you guys. Like, again, you have to be willing to make sacrifices if you truly want to grow this business. And when we go into it, I've listened to several calls lately, and so many of us, we limit ourselves, and we know that because we go at it and we're like, well, I don't want to feel creepy or salesy. So like, don't go into somebody thinking of them as a number or a statistic or a commission or a paycheck, because when you do that, you're already setting yourself up for success. Like, we all know we need money to survive, to live life, but we have to know that's not ultimately why we do what we do. Yes, I know that this opportunity is the only thing that's going to give me and my family the freedom and the, like, financially and time-wise that we desire, but I don't do it because of that. When I first started, like, why did I start? And it's humbled me, and it's grown me personally from the inside out, and I know that it's helping us in every single way, and I want others to experience that too. And when you go at it with that mindset, then they're going to know, and they're going to feel your authenticity and that you're genuine in your approach. So get out of your own head in thinking that. I loved this analogy. They talked about hunting versus fishing. Okay, so many of us think that we're out there hunting, chasing, and just like shooting at everybody, like trying to find these targets, like, and when really that's not it at all. It's a fishing game. Like, you're just sitting back, you're casting your reel, you're casting that bait, you're putting those posts out there, you're sharing that you're a coach, and like how your life is continuing to change little by little. You're breadcrumbing, creating that curiosity marketing, and then eventually every now and then one's going to nibble and one's going to bite. You may even reel one in, but we have to just know we're constantly casting that reel, casting that net out there. We're not just shooting at everybody trying to be like, come on, but just being so strategic in the way that we put ourselves out there. So I kind of wanted to challenge you guys with that tonight too. and giving you a little assignment, I guess, per se, to evaluate yourself. And shout out to LaShara. I did it in the group this week, but she had never talks in her stories. And I'm like, I want to see you talk. And she did, and she blew it out of the water. It was amazing. So I want to make sure that you guys are showing up and just showing a day in the life, not just like coaching, although I want you to look at your feed, and you shouldn't have to go back to your past like 5 or 6, like keep it at that. Do people even know that you're a coach? And in knowing that, do they know that they can do it too? Do they feel inspired? Do they feel like ready? Do you tug on their heartstrings to make them want to desire more and to make a change? Because we all know it's inspiration or desperation that's going to encourage them to take that leap of faith. Sometimes both, a combination. But like, do they even know that you're a coach? You guys, like, you have to be showing up. And right now, I'm currently blocked out of Instagram. I can do my DMs and I can do my stories, thank goodness, because that's the 2 best of the business. But like since Saturday, because I've been using the Cleaner app to do my unfollowings on the weekend, well, I've obviously got a red flag target on my back because I'm blocked out. So I can't post and I can't like or comment, which has been really hard, but it's supposed to unlock tomorrow. So be careful with your unfollowing if you're using the Cleaner. Ashley, my partner, says she's still doing it. She's only doing 10 at a time. I guess I was pushing the limits, doing 50 at a time, and it called up with me. But yeah, so that's that. But so try to make it a goal to post every day if you can. But I was even telling some of you, like, I don't even post every day, but I won't go more than every other day with my post. And again, I'm recycling the same content between Instagram and Facebook, but my stories, I will blow the heck up out of those bad boys. Like, that's the real, the raw, that's where you can be true to you. It's not polished and perfect, but that's where they see who you are. And that's where you're best able to attract your tribe, because they can hear you. They can feel you. Like, they know what it is you like and you love. How do you spend your free time? Is it, of course you want to share about the business and what it is you do, but also like your family and all those things, that core 5 that we've talked about again and again, and knowing what that is in your story. So self-evaluate yourself. Do people know that you're a coach? Do they know that they can join you, and are they inspired to join you? So if you haven't done, like, I always push for 10 a day, but a very minimal non-negotiable 5 stories a day. You guys, literally, it could take you 10 seconds and you've done 4 about just like that by talking. Tips, anything, sharing your meal prep. It don't matter, bath time, not your bath time, but like, because I don't know, anything that you want that's a part of your day. Let people know what it is, how you're spending your time, because it's those things that they're going to relate to you with. And talking about Instagram, many of you already do it, but like just the little things that make your post more appealing. I use this site called appsforlifehost.com. So APPS, the number 4, lifehost.com. I'm going to type it in the chat, I think, if I can. But I literally Jordan gets mad at me because I never cancel out my tabs or whatever, and I just keep it there. And I literally, which you may already have an app, because there are more other ones, but this is the one I specifically use that Brock Johnson I learned from Shalene's training. But it's where you can bold or italic a few letters. But in this, you just convert, which you copy it to the clipboard, and then I directly paste it to Instagram so that you have those spaces and you don't have to use all the dots in between. But it just looks so much cleaner when you're posting. On Facebook is a little bit easier. They'll usually just let you, use your little spaces. But if you want more spaces, then you can do it this way. Or if you want to use the bold or the italic fonts, so just use that to clean it up. Because if it's just one big blah, like, and if it's just too much, people aren't going to read that. You have 20 seconds, if that. That's more so like with a video. If it's a post, you have about 7 seconds to attract their attention. And that's why your post, has to be eye-catching, create that curiosity, and it has to like look good. So some use of emojis, not overuse them, but use some, like when you want to accentuate like a feeling or them to take action. And speaking of taking action, I recently was told that the algorithm again, mostly with Instagram, they're really cracking down, or Facebook too. Like with our call to actions, I want you to make sure that I would say at least 80% of your posts, I hope you're using some type of call to action. But if you put specifically like comment below or something like that, I just recently heard this, like they're not showing your content. So like instead you could use like an emoji there, like maybe like finger below or something, like to let them know, to accentuate that call to action and changing it up that way to help them and not get yourself hidden, because they're really picky about that on the business side of things. But just knowing like your focus is not to sell, you guys, it is to help others. Like, how has your life changed? You want to generate a feeling of accomplishment, of positivity. Like, what can people, like, what make people want to come to you? Like, to get that voice of encouragement, to make them want to get up and get moving, or change their life, quit settling for, a job they hate, whatever it is. And this is something still I have to go back and do. I need to like put it on my tracker sheet, but like, and being intentional with your posting times, of course. Hopefully you're all set up, especially your Instagram, as a business account, so you can check those algorithms and just see who your audience is. Are you even targeting the people you want to? What are your peak times? When are you getting the most engagement? And also you too, make sure that you're doing genuine contents. Again, with us, when we're showing that love for each other and for others too, you want it to be at least four characters, but 4 words, and just don't make it just blend in like awesome job, looks great, but actually put something a little bit behind it so that they know like, and they're going to be interested, and then show you the love in return is the goal. So priming your feed is what I was getting to. Set a timer, 3 to 5 minutes, making sure you're doing those authentic likes and comments, and then you've already crafted your post, you've already used appsforlifehost.com to create your thing, and then as soon as you've primed, you're posting, you're putting your nicely laid out whatever your content there, and then you're ready to go. So I know we only got a few minutes left. I wanted to open it up for any questions if y'all have anything. But just, respecting others' times as well as your own and your family's time. And I just really want and encourage you guys to establish these boundaries. It took me way longer than I ever would have hoped for, because you don't want to cause tension with your family. You want them to be on board with you. So if you haven't got to that point, have that conversation with them. Let them know that you're serious about this and you are doing it for your family. Include your kids so that you do it. The last thing you want to do is let your darn kids down, right? Like that just would like break my heart personally. So like that's fuel to your fire. Include them in your goal setting so that you're like, all right, and set the date with them so that you can, as a family, mark it on your calendar. And once you hit that goal, you're taking a trip, even if it's not Disney, like the zoo or something smaller on your scale, whatever's feasible for you. But also push yourself too. Don't settle. But I think that's awesome. And just be willing to know that it's all about those short-term sacrifices in order to ultimately have those long-term gains. What scheduling app do you use or site? I tried a few, but I don't. Honestly, since I do this full time now, like my post on my feed and stuff, I don't schedule out. But in all of my groups, then I guess, can you do it to your feed too? I just do directly from Facebook. So all of my Instagram posts right now I just do them real time. So I do not, but I know there's a way. I would have to look. I don't know if you do it through, I know Christina's not on here, but we were just talking about scheduling ads, because that's something I personally want to get into, is having that running behind the scenes, especially on the weekends. And I know she just started hers, and you have to do it from your Facebook business page. So I'm wondering if you can schedule from there, your Facebook business page, that if it's linked to your Instagram. So I'm not sure with Instagram. Yeah, because I haven't used a third-party tool in forever, like Hootsuite or whatever we used to use way back in the day. So Facebook, I do everything like organically with their scheduler. But I'm not sure if you can do it on your feed, because I always do that real time. I'd have to look. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. Does anybody else use a scheduling app? I schedule all my group posts, but not my I don't know, but sometimes the only thing I do is on my notes, I'll have like, oh, that's something if I've already posted for the day, or just the timing's like weird or something. If it's something that's related to night or morning, I'll save like different posting ideas. I have a note section so that if my brain is like fried or something, I do have that, if that helps at all. But I don't know if anybody else uses any scheduling apps. Anybody? We got 4 minutes left. I'm gonna stop